Hi everyone, my name is Keith Beecham. I'm from Suffolk. I run the Suffolk Investor Club. Before I start, how many people here are in a startup or about to be in a startup? Okay, good, great. I had 22 years in BT, and since then 9 years in startups. Since I spun out from BT, I spent a lot of time investing. And I've had a lot of experience in startups. I've started 4 myself. I have been CEO of another 2. I have seen hundreds of business plans, I've reviewed them, I've written them. What I'm going to talk to you about today is something I call the startup life cycle, which is something that I've learned most startups go through. You've either experienced it or you're about to experience it. And I'm going to use MeetMy, which is a company I started a year ago, as an example. Before we get on to that though, I'd like to start where most people stop, which is the initial idea. You think of an idea as that eureka moment, the light bulb going on. Well, I like to think of it more as a bubble. It's hard to pin it down, it's ephemeral, you want to get it out talking to lots of other people, get those bubbles together, and finally you'll realise that you've got something that you can turn into a business. Keep it very, very simple. First billionaire I met in the West Coast made his money out of coat hangers, wire coat hangers. And that illustrates another thing: if you're starting a company, make your idea the better mousetrap. Don't try and reinvent the world. It's much easier to sell a product to someone if they're already buying the product. You only have to persuade them to buy yours rather than something completely new. Okay, a little bit about MeetMy. I founded it with a couple of friends just over a year ago. The easiest way of describing it is as Facebook for things. So rather than revealing your own personal details online, you talk about your pets, your love, interests, your hobbies, and it's now available on an iPhone app. It's available on the web. It's a bit cranky. Please go and download it, have a go, tell me what you think about it. I'm going to use it to illustrate the startup life cycle. And we started with the idea. That's 10 minutes in its own right how we got there. You start with great excitement. You're building your business plan, you're growing your team. All looks brilliant. You get the initial feedback from the prototypes. Everyone is excited. And as this optimism grows, you get to the point where nothing seems to be able to go wrong. In our case, we've got investors. We've got actually a big new investor who was going to take us all the way to success. We've got the trial results really positive. Pride come to the fall. In our case, this summer, we lost a key team member, the marketing team member. Our new investor withdrew at the last minute, and we had problems with the market and with the product development as well. This is where most companies meet their maker. Don't be disheartened, don't panic. You can recover from the trough of despair. What you've got to do is think carefully, how can I recover things? How can I save my company? And you're in a very good position. You know the market now, you know your product, you know what you can and can't do. So use that to work out how you're going to save your company. You've got to work out how you need more to get more time and more money to do that. I think in MeetMy we're about there at the moment. It's the plateau of deliverance, it's very dodgy at the moment, but we've revised the business plan, revised the marketing plan, we've signed up our first 3 customers, we have now a lower cost product, we're bringing it over, the development over to the UK, and we're actually in the middle of a refinancing round. If we can deliver this company, give it nice and stable, we can actually start building the company, start growing it. This will be longer and slower than we originally hoped. I call it the slope of realization, but our target is to get to the point of break even, because at that point we have a viable company. It can live on its own. We have choices then how we're going to grow it into that, all those dreams we had to start with. For those software developers amongst you, think of this as an agile project. For most of the company, you are working to very small time boxes, lots of little projects, adapting all the time to your surroundings, and what you're aiming for up here is your minimum viable business. You can also look at this in terms of financing. Instead of looking at that curve as morale, think of it as valuation. Angels now will invest in you when you've got some revenues but not yet profitable. VCs, you've got to be profitable. Banks, forget about them. Only the brave invest very early on, but they do exist. We found some. Brings me neatly to Suffolk Investor Club, group of angels. We invest in Norwich, in Norfolk. Please, if you've got a company who's looking for investment, come and have a chat. Equally, if you'd like to help out with MeetMy, very pleased to talk to you. And going back to those idea bubbles, if any of you are interested in bicycles, electric vehicles, or renewable energy, love to have a chat. Thank you very much.